southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Pat Wooten was a man known around Perry County and the region as a person who served his community in many capacities, including as Perry County Sheriff and the Mayor of Buckhorn. Wooten died earlier this week. WYMT's Madison Pergram has more on his life and legacy.
A name known throughout the mountains.
Sheriff Wooten, he was just always a name everybody in Perry County knew.
Nobody in the school business coming and going would ever think about Buckhorn and not think of Pat Wooten.
For his love and dedication to this community.
He spent his entire life literally fighting for and proverbially fighting for our way of life here in Perry County to make it a better quality of life.
An inspiration for Sheriff Joe Engel, his picture hangs alongside Wooten's in this hall.
I know if I could script my life the way I'd want my story to be wrote, it would be a blueprint of how Mr. Wooten lived his life.
But his heart reached many, including that of his students and players like Larry Sparks.
He empowered you to feel like you could be in something special if you were really willing to work and give great effort.
It was not just about winning the game on the court, but about succeeding in the game of life by instilling one thing.
Just believe in yourself. Believe, that you can be as good as anybody else.
Leaving a legacy.
Perry County is definitely a better place because he was here.
And an impact on the area and people he loved. In Perry County, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
Wooten was 74 years old. Funeral arrangements have not been announced at this time, but we'll post them when we know them on WYMT.com.
Well, I'm live here at the WYMT Food City Mountain Classic. We got Hazard and Phelps warming up behind me for the first game. The next game will be Martin County and Harlan Independent. If you're headed out tonight, it is a chilly one, but looking a lot better than it did last night. Let's go ahead and take you up to that Whitesburg camera. It's a gorgeous evening there. You can see most of the snow has melted a little bit on the rooftops, but those roads looking a lot drier and a lot better. But like I said, temperatures are chilly, anywhere from about those mid to upper 30s. Most of us didn't even get into the 40s today for those high temperatures. With that sun setting, only going to get chillier. Satellite and radar quiet throughout the day. Maybe a few clouds up to the north along I-64, but other than that, it's been a nice and gorgeous day. As we head into tonight, low to mid 20s, clear, cool, and a little bit on the frosty side as you're waking up on your Thursday. But Thursday looking a lot better temperature-wise. I'll have more details on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you very much, Paige. Steam and mud billowing from a still active volcano are preventing recovery crews from getting to a New Zealand island where a sudden eruption hit dozens of tourists. At least 30 people are being treated in hospitals across the country, pushing burn units to capacity with supplies being flown in from places including the United States. Earlier today, a volcanologist with New Zealand's Geoscience Agency said there's still a 40 to 60% chance of another eruption in the next 24 hours. It looks like Kentucky's hepatitis A problem is improving. State numbers show a large drop in new cases of the disease. Garrett Weimer tells us what public health leaders in the state say is behind this reduction.
Health officials I talked to attribute a few things to the decline in hepatitis A cases across the state. They say awareness and vaccines are certainly a big part of it. Officials with the Lexington-Fayette County Health Department say the outbreak technically is not over, and there's a chance it may never be officially, but it certainly has slowed down. Numbers here and around the state confirm that. It's certainly welcome news for an outbreak responsible for roughly 5,000 cases and 6 deaths going back to November 2017. The state has seen 5 new cases the last half of November, according to the most recent numbers from Kentucky Public Health, compared to 175 at the same time last year. Health leaders in Lexington say they haven't had any new cases since July.
In terms of the definition of an outbreak for epidemiologists, this outbreak may never be considered over. In terms of what the state is telling us is that it's slowed down, it is not over, it is not stopped. It is definitely, though, under a better control than it has been, and it's definitely under control compared to last year.
Even now, health officials still encourage folks who have not gotten the hepatitis A vaccine to go ahead and get vaccinated. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WYMT Mountain News.
The Hep A vaccine comes in 2 doses. You're supposed to get the second one 6 months after the first. If you got the first dose but never got the second, it's not too late to get that second dose. A McGoffin County man indicted for robbery is now behind bars. In March, investigators say Travis Hall robbed a man at gunpoint. On top of robbery, Hall also faces wanton endangerment and possession of a handgun by convicted felon charges. He's being held at the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. In Laurel County, 2 people are charged after a child was hurt in a scuffle. Deputies say Marshall Miracle and Michaela Moore got into a fight inside a store. During the fight, Moore was knocked to the ground while holding a 7-month-old child. The child had scratches on his chest, side, and back. Miracle and Moore are charged with wanton endangerment and disorderly conduct. In Pulaski County, a man is behind bars after deputies say he made threatening statements against deputies. Deputies stopped Christopher Campbell Tuesday night. When talking to him, investigators say they ended up in a scuffle with him. Deputies say Campbell smelled of alcohol and had an open container in his truck. They also found cats inside. Campbell faces multiple charges, including DUI, terroristic threatening, and cruelty to animals. A small bridge in Elliott County collapsed, sending a Kentucky Power Service truck partially into a creek. You can see there in that picture, officials say the employee tried to cross the bridge to fix a light for a customer. Luckily, no one was hurt. An Indiana family is suing after a toddler fell to her death on a cruise ship in July. 18-month-old Chloe Wygand's grandfather had just lifted her to what he thought was a closed window when she slipped from his grasp. The toddler died, and her grandfather, Salvatore Anello, is charged with negligent homicide. The family says the window on the Royal Caribbean ship should have been closed.
There is no reason for this ship to have walls of glass surrounding the 11th floor with portions that open. If that condition did not exist, Chloe would still be here.
Royal Caribbean had no comment, and the grandfather is due in court next week. The family is asking for unspecified damages. The House Judiciary Committee begins 2 days of public debate tonight on 2 articles of impeachment accusing President Donald Trump of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The constitutional clash between the 2 branches of government has only happened 3 times before. After the debate, the full House will vote on the articles, and if one or both are approved, the Republican-controlled Senate will hold a trial. At a rally last night in Pennsylvania, President Trump ridiculed the impeachment effort. A new foundation will help bring money to organizations and community outreach efforts in Pikeville. The Pikeville Foundation, part of the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky, was recently established with a board of directors from different organizations in Pikeville. The foundation will serve as a conduit for donors with interests in the community and could provide more opportunities for securing grants in the future.
For those in our community that have a philanthropic heart, I suppose, somewhere to donate their money that can then be turned around and used in very good ways in the community.
The foundation will host its first fundraiser, a Dancing with the Stars type event, January 24th at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we'll tell you about new breakthroughs doctors say could change the way they treat advanced breast cancer.
And those temperatures will be a lot warmer tomorrow. Rain chances on the way as well. I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
And here in Wolfe County, I spoke to the second recipient of the Ralph Gabbard Broadcasting Scholarship Award. And when she graduates from high school, she'll already have an associate's degree.